I'm going to show you now before and after.
Once upon a time, there was this little duck named Quad who was afraid to fly.
All of the other ducks could fly, but Quad was too scared. He would just sit on the ground and watch them fly away. So I'm an actor, but I'm not a voiceover actor. Everyone can sound better. It's not just about the mic, it's also about the processing the voice. I'm going to show you my chain. Everything starts on the recording. And if you start to, for example, this room is not treated. I just have a blanket over there, sorry. And that's it, because this is all dry walls. The room doesn't have anything. It's not well treated, but it gives a little bit of work in the processing. So I just can show you that this is the blankets. The only thing that it's really covering this, and the rest is just walls. There is nothing else, it's just walls. It's possible to record in a room like this and sound good. Not great, but good. If you know a little tricks on the post-processing, you can finesse a little bit and make it sound good. I know that a lot of you don't have a treated room. I don't have a treated room. Okay, now it's better because I opened my window. Where was I? You don't have to work with Audition, but you can use any other DAW like Logic. I use Logic for some things, but for vocals and just for voiceover and podcasts, I just prefer using this one. I think it's good to start with EQ. So I use Pro Q3. So I think at the beginning you don't need nothing of these plugins that I'm going to tell you. But if you wanted to upgrade a little bit, so I think Fabfilter is great because it gives you more precision. It's just because of the tools, not because it's better sounding. No, it's the same. It's just because it gives you better tools, more tools, so you can do your work better. I'm going to show you with and without EQ, starting with the EQ.
Once upon a time, there was this little duck named Quad who was afraid to fly. Once upon a time, there was this little duck named Quad who was afraid to fly.
Because of the effect of the proximity of the microphone, I just had to cut a little bit of the low end. So I just cut a little bit around the 50 Hertz. And I'm just bringing down around the 500K. And I just brought it down because it was a little bit muddy. And I don't need below 50, I don't really need. I'm a male voice, but my voice is not that low. I can even go further with this and I would be okay. But this was the place that I found for this particular voice. I just brought on the 10K some harshness of the S's. I just brought a little bit back here, down here. Although I could use the DE-ESSER after, but I just opted to bring it down in the beginning. This kind of EQ is a precision EQ, is a subtractive EQ that you're going to address some problems. Here on the beginning stage, you just want to flat it down the most possible you can, the voice. So you can hear the lows, the mids, and the highs more or less at the same level. You're not trying here to emphasize any of those frequencies. In this phase, you're just trying to balancing a little bit more all the audio. The next phase, I just like to use saturation because it can bring a little bit all of the transients. The professionals use this kind of technique. Not necessarily after the EQ, but I saw some people that use on the EQ. I try both and I just prefer using in this stage. So the saturation, this plugin, it's free and it's very neutral. So I enjoy using it because it's free and it's good. So why not? I can put the link below without.
Once upon a time, there was this little duck named Quad who was afraid. Once upon a time, there was this little duck named Quad who was afraid. Once upon a time, there was this little duck named Quad.
I did go hard on this one. I use the reference, okay? It's not the most similar to my voice, but it's a good reference. If I pushed a little bit more than this, it would be distorted, and we don't want to feel the distortion that much. But I can show you.
Once upon a time, there was this little duck named Quad who was afraid to fly. Once upon a time, there
You see, here is distorted.
was this little duck named Quad who was afraid to fly. Once upon a time, there
Or let's bring it up and then dial it back.
named Quad who was afraid to fly. Once upon a time, there was this little duck named Quad.
And I find that here was a good balance where the voice is pushed, but not so much that it's distorted. So this makes just a lot. EQ, but this EQ, it's a different EQ. The other one was subtractive. This is a positive EQ. I can put the link below from this one for Universal Audio. Sometimes they have sales, so Black Friday probably is coming. Maybe you can take advantage of that. I just took it for 50 bucks. Usually they have around 300, I think. So if you can take it, this is a good one for voiceover, podcasts, dialogue, everything.
Little duck named Quad.
We can go for another portion of the audio, like this one. Okay, before.
All of the other ducks could fly, but Quad was too scared. All of the other ducks could fly, but Quad was too.
So you can see it makes a little bit more close to you. And I was just trying and experimenting. Around the 30 Hz, I just brought it a little bit up the sensation of fullness and body. I just brought back a little bit of the low mids because that's where the mud is. So it brings a little bit more clarity if you bring it down. It depends on the voice, of course. It was around the 150. The high mids is where the clarity, the presence is. I just brought it a little bit up. And the treble, just to give some air to the voice. I like breathy, a little bit more breathy, so it depends. You can go with whatever you want. This plugin, it's a plugin that it's an EQ and a compression at the same time. I'm just using the EQ because here is the trigger for the compressor. Here is the equalizer. If you can accentuate the effect of these settings, you can just go for the preamp, the in.
All of the other ducks could fly, but Quad was too scared.
Yeah, and you can just push it. You just have to try and listen and see what works best for you.
All of the other ducks could fly, but Quad was too scared.
As you can see, it brings a little bit more to the front because I just took a little bit of the mud, more body, more presence. The next one is the compressor. In this case, usually I go with the distressor, but it was not working for me because it was bringing a little bit of the space. I didn't want the space because it's an echoey sounding room. And I find that with the Pro Q, I was just able to do it better. And it's a good compressor as well. Without.
All of the other ducks could fly, but Quad was too scared. All of the other ducks could fly, but Quad was too scared. All of the other ducks could fly, but Quad was too scared.
So the voice is more closer and present. Just very subtle thing. Because the work that we did before, it just brought it back a lot. In the next one, to finalize, it's the Pro DS. It's the DE-ESSER, of course. I'm just using all the Fabfilter plugins. So I just bought it the bundle. So that's why.
All of the other ducks could fly, but Quad was too scared. All of the other ducks could fly, but Quad was too scared.
It's around the 5,000 and the 14,000, around there. Just pushing a little bit back when they are attacked. And that's it, just to make it more smooth. Now, we can listen everything.
Once upon a time, there was this little duck named Quad who was afraid to fly. All of the other ducks could fly, but Quad was too scared. He would just sit on the ground and watch them fly away. Once upon a time, there was this little duck named Quad who was afraid to fly. All of the other ducks could.
As you can see, the voice before raw recording, and because of the effect of the proximity, it was too affected with the low end. Before all of the processing, you should clean the voice first, because you should clean the noises, the rustles, the mouth clicks, everything that you have to address, do it before the processing. Because especially when you use the compressor, it's going to bring all of the things that are hidden, and they are going to be noticed with all of this process. And if you want to know how to clean the voice, I do it in iZotope RX here on this video. Oh, and don't forget to hit the bell button if you enjoy. That's it.